Hi there. I am Rita Giesbrecht, and I am your candidate for the position of MLA in the May election this year, and my association is with the Green Party of British Columbia. So we are talking today about land use. We held a forum here last Friday, and we will be carrying on the conversation. But first I want to just update you on some of the points that were brought up. There was a lot of conversation. There was about 25 people in the room from all walks of life, and not one person thought that we should ravage the rest of the landscape to extract the last remaining minerals and forests. So that was interesting. What we did find is that we want a plan, and I don't think that's an unreasonable thing to ask for. We want a plan to make sure that the resources that we do extract here in the Cariboo Chilcotin are value added to create jobs here in the Cariboo Chilcotin. We were told that the exportation of raw logs is nothing less than criminal, that should end immediately, and we should be left with something more than burned out mills and gated roads and a savage landscape when the timber companies roll out of here. How do we facilitate bringing youth back out onto the land? How do we facilitate, for example, watershed rehabilitation in areas where there used to be fish and there isn't anymore? And how do we, say, for example, bring that into the school curriculum so that youth in school can gain the knowledge and the experience and get credit for it on their education and bring fish back into the watersheds where fish have disappeared from? Similarly, we heard from people who would like to get out onto the land more easily and pay attention to things like, what are the bird populations doing? Why can we not easily go out into our own landscape through access trails and managed wilderness and really look at bird populations? And similarly, things like hiking trails, biking trails. In other words, easy access for people who want to recreate on the land and also enhance our visitor economy. Visitor economy and people who live here using the land to recreate are two things that complement each other and support each other, and we don't do enough of it here. The other thing that we heard loud and clear is the protection of the integrity of agricultural land. The Agricultural Land Reserve is a tired piece of land use planning. Things like, why is it possible to subdivide off good ranch land, good agricultural land, and turn it into housing? Why? That is just not sustainable and not a good use of our agricultural land. And similarly, again, we heard loud and clear that the youth also need opportunity to be out in the agricultural world, learning agriculture, having opportunity to be on the land and develop agriculture. We also talked about the relationship with the First Nations and the settlement governments and settlement people, and how that relationship has to be re-examined and rebuilt. There is new reality present in British Columbia and in Canada since this year with an Enquedeni Accord. We need to pay attention to that. We need to look at how our new relationship can be built. We need to look with fresh eyes and get it right this time. I think in conclusion, what we heard is that we need a comprehensive plan in place so that all the users have a say in how the land is planned for and used, and we all have to be able to use our land in a sustainable way. The visitor economy has to complement industry and agriculture and things like food sovereignty in terms of the wild harvest, that's wild animals and wild plants. Those things all have to be respected. All of the sectors have to come together in a complementary, supportive, and sustainable way. I think that would probably be the message that I heard, and I will expect to hear more of that same thing, because I think we had a pretty representative group. I've lived in this country long enough to know that my friends and neighbors pretty much feel that way. We all want to live together on the land. We all want the land to be healthy and thriving and sustainable. And we all want our grandchildren and the next 7 generations to be able to thrive on the land. Now, the area recently had a huge community forum on the topic of housing for seniors. Now, I would submit that housing for seniors and housing at all are one and the same thing, because a healthy community provides housing for seniors, the ability to age and live in place and be cared for in community for seniors, extends right through the community and creates a better community for everybody. So why separate the two? So that will be the topic on February 3rd. Healthy community housing. What can it look like? How can it relate to our agricultural region and our resource extraction region? And how do those things all fit together? So please join us for that. And please find me on Facebook and on Twitter or on my website and get in touch with me with your ideas. Thank you.